gentlemen, but my name's Lucinda Wakefield and I'm the Sheffield Trade Union Council Climate Coordinator, as well as the Climate Justice Coalition South Yorkshire Coordinator. And I want to thank you all for coming on such a miserable day. Less miserable than yesterday, but we are in for snow apparently in the coming week. So I think that tells you all about the world that we're living in the moment under the climate. But as we know, COP30 in Belém has started and has in a time when humanity has entered an era of climate overshoot where global temperatures have breached the 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold. And we've already seen an inspiring amount of activity and action in Belém, with hundreds of boats joining a flotilla to the People's Summit. That's the counter summit, our summit. But for over 30 years of COP, political leaders and multinational corporations have talked about protecting the planet, but their actions betray their words, shaping global climate policy to protect their profit and not the people or the world we live in. So today, climate justice groups are taking to the streets in locations from the Amazon to the continents across the world. In Great Britain, there are more than 17 cities and towns that, like us, are joining the call for climate justice. And the People's Summit in Belém is a reminder of what global solidarity looks like in practice. Communities coming together across borders to claim their space in shaping our shared future. Activists from the Amazon to Sri Lanka, from the occupied Palestinian territory to the UK, are showing that people power can and must change the course of history. Here in the UK, we can show that tackling the cost of living and tackling the climate crisis do go hand in hand, and that urgent action is affordable if we make the rich pay. So I've got 3 speakers for you today. I'll just get my details. Excuse me. The first one, I'm very pleased to welcome Romeo Pedro, who's the Superintendent Minister of the Sheffield Methodist Church.
Friends, sisters and brothers, I stand here part of a global family that believes God's creation is essentially good, that every person bears the image of God, and that justice is at the heart of faith, any type of faith. For many years we have said that God calls us to care for the earth and all its people. Today, at this COP30 march, that calling feels more urgent than ever. We are no longer talking about distant risks. We are talking about present suffering, from devastating floods in the UK to wildfires across Europe to rising seas that threaten communities in the global south. We have done the least to cause this crisis. Creation is crying out, and so are the poorest and most vulnerable among us. I believe that faith without action is empty. John Wesley, the founder of Methodism, once said, "Do all the good you can." That is not a gentle suggestion, it's a moral summons. Today, doing good means demanding courage from world leaders. It means refusing to accept slow promises, half measures, or convenient excuses. It means insisting on climate justice. Climate justice means recognizing that the climate crisis is not only an environmental issue, it's a human one. It is about families who lose their homes, farmers who lose their crops, and children whose futures are being shaped by decisions made in rooms they will never enter. Justice means loss and damage finance that is real, reliable and fair. It means rapid transitions away from fossil fuels, not someday, but now. It means holding wealthy nations, including our own, accountable for the responsibilities we bear. I've seen somebody saying the climate culprits must pay. As people, we march in hope, but not passive hope. Hope is active, determined. In my case, rooted in God's promises that renewal and transformation are possible. It's not optimism that things will simply sort themselves out. It's the belief that when people come together, when compassion overrules convenience and courage overrules fear, change can happen. Today, our hope is strengthened by everyone who's involved in this fight. Children who refuse to be silent. Faith communities who recognize that protecting God's creation is not optional. Scientists who speak truth with integrity. Indigenous leaders who protect land with courage. And citizens who understand that we share one planet, one atmosphere, one hope. But hope, my friends, alone is not enough. We must raise our voices so loudly that governments cannot ignore them. We must push policies that match the scale of the crisis. We must hold our leaders to their promises and remind them that morality, not politics, should guide their decisions. And for those of us on this march today, we must look inward at our own organizations too. We must continue reducing our own emissions, supporting climate vulnerable communities, divesting from fossil fuels, and teaching our children and communities that creation care is part of our everyday living. We must pray, yes, but we must also act, advocate, organize, and stand in solidarity with our global neighbors. So today, my friends, let us march with purpose. Let us march with love. Let us march with the conviction that things can and must be different. And let us remind the world that we are not on the sidelines of this struggle. We are right here, walking, speaking, demanding, and believing that by God's grace, another way is possible. Thank you, my friends, and may we go forward with courage, justice, and hope.